Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas. Exploration within is a series or a beginning or both. The beauty that nature offers generously invites us to offer its hug. Very few of us are allowing ourselves that much space to go and be one with nature. Being one with nature is also being with oneself in another way, and that we will learn today in a conversation where someone who has recently been to trekking, for whom trekking acts as a way of meditating. And the image that you see here is Annapurna base, and I have not taken it from internet. I have received it from this gentleman who is now joining us from Delhi. Rajesh ji, welcome. Namaste.
नमस्कार नमस्कार अशोक जी.
So, getting into the traditional side, I want to offer my pranams to you, gentlemen, for having tracked Annapurna base, and you are continuously allowing yourselves to immerse in books as well as the book of nature. So, today we will focus more on your tracking as meditation in the context of a recent trip to Annapurna base. So, let's first learn a little bit more about what Annapurna base is. And before I let you respond to this, Annapurna word is very, very familiar for many of us. Like we have this before Bhojan, we say Annapurne Sarapurne Shankar Prana Vallabhe Gyan Vairagya Siddhartham Bhiksham Desha Parvati. So Annapurna is a mother goddess, and there also the reference which will be relevant for your tracking as meditation is the seeker is seeking gyan and vairagya, that is knowledge and dispassion, if I say. Take it away, starting with the outer description of what Annapurna
Yeah.
is and why were you drawn to it. Yeah.
So basically, there are about 14 peaks in the world which are 8,000 meter plus in altitude. 8,000 meter plus means 26,000 feet plus. And Annapurna is being in, out of this 14, 8 are in Nepal. Some are in Nepal, some are bordering Nepal, China. One is bordering in Nepal, India. There is Kanchenjunga, and five are in Pakistan. Three of them are in border with China, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, or whatever you want to call it, and some in purely in Pakistan. One in purely Pakistan. In India, we have only one, that is Kanchenjunga. So this Annapurna was the first 8,000 meter plus peak which was conquered by human. Not I was conquered is not a good word. Summited. People climbed first time. Human being climbed first time 8,000 meter plus peak, and that was Annapurna by a French team in 1951. And that time 1951, I mean, it was such a unknown place. I mean, Nepal never used to encourage tourism at that point of time, and they would not allow mountaineers to come and explore the Himalayas. So by great difficulty they got the permission, and then can you imagine this 8,000 meter plus 26,000 feet peak? They could not locate because it was not depicted clearly on the map provided by British India, Survey of India, Government of India at that time. So from that point, I mean, from that perspective, it is the most prominent peak because the 8,000 was killed by human beings, and it is in top three the most difficult peak to summit. So from that perspective, also it is very prominent for the mountaineers. So base camp is all these mountaineering campaigns start with from the base camp. They get together, and then from base camp they keep going, they keep coming down, they keep acclimatizing, and slowly they make the progress, and they do the uh, summiting. So this base camp is not very high. As I told you earlier, that I have done Everest Base Camp. Now, Everest Base Camp and Gokyo Lake, they are about 18,000, 19,000 square, 19,000 feet in altitude. This is at 14,100 feet. So altitude wise, other tracks are more challenging, but this track is challenging because of sheer length. That is one of 160 kilometer up and down length, and then a lot of stairs, steps involved in the track. So a person of certain age, like I am about 66, and I have osteoarthritis and impingement in the hip. For me, it was challenging because the negotiating steps I it found it very difficult, but I'm happy that I could do it. So that perspective, it is less challenging altitude wise, but more challenging because steps are involved.
So
And
yeah, please continue.
yeah. So you start the track at the altitude of about 2,000, 6,000 feet, and you track to say 14,000 feet. So 8,000 feet you gain in altitude while walking. And this track took about 6 days going up one side. So total 11 days track. And in Nepal, all high altitude tracks, you're not allowed to stay in the tents until unless you are a mountaineer and you are doing the expedition of summiting some peak. Then you can put tents in your base camp and the camp further. But for trekkers, no camping is allowed. So you have to stay on the tea houses, what you get on the way, and spend night and uh, continue the track. So
Why
between
is
the
it?
three houses,
Why
because
is it?
first of all, it is they want to control the environment. This is about 7,000 square kilometer kind of conservation area they have uh, created around this Annapurna. They want to keep it pristine, clean. And so if you allow people to camp and do this stuff, then it is very difficult to monitor them whether they are you know garbage dumping here and there. So they don't allow. Second is altitude and the temperature, because even and I did this in March. Temperature was about -6 degree. And when I did Everest, that time temperature was -28 because it was done in November. So at high altitude, temperature is pretty low. It's not safe if you're not a professional mountaineer and a trekker. It is very difficult for you to survive. So it can be a dangerous thing. Second thing is basically they want to protect the environment.
So there are two sides to it. One is the external logistics, etc. How did you prepare, etc. And why you chose to do this. And of course, you mentioned about it was additional challenge for you due to what you have been through physically. Uh, but then, as we were talking prior to formal recording, and you were mentioning which is the title that is tracking as meditation. So we'll get into that and we'll spend more time about how was your dialogue with the nature and what was it that was going on in your inner uh, space, and how you feel after having completed this track. One, of course, it's a sense of achievement. You feel fulfilled on one level, but there is much more which is subtle, so we'll get to that. But let's start with the logistics. So how did you prepare, and was there any difficulty, and the number of people that you had with you, etc.?
So it is first of all, it is a bit problematic for people of our age, because we have to get the medical certificate which certifies that we are fit to track, uh, and that is must. Second thing is that we have to when we seek the permission from the conservation area, then we have to tell that we are doing this and we have sort of past experience, and we are in position to do it, and they should be fairly convinced about your ability to do it,
So
or at least,
this body is
yeah,
Nepalese body or Indian side?
Nepalis. So they ask for all kind of certification, medical certification, all those things. Even the operators do not like to take people who are old, and conservation area does not allow anybody beyond 70 to enter. Then you need a very special permission and all. So clock is ticking. As far as I'm concerned, I'm already 66, and so all these tracks I have to do it before I turn 70. And as it happened very often that even the private operators are not very keen to take you as a tracker in their group, because the challenges, or the danger, the safety, they don't want to compromise. That nobody wants to take the responsibility, additional responsibility on their head. So now coming to the meditative part you talked about.
Sorry,
uh,
sorry. How did you prepare? Like you consciously developed your stamina walking every day, or and also about the group.
So first of all, you if you are not walking every day, then you will not do trekking. So you have to have a regimen which is involving walking every day, whether you do 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers, 7 kilometers, 8 kilometers, whatever. For preparation is concerned, then you before the track, 15 20 days before you start walking, with some kind of rucksack, with some weight, 4 5 6 7 8 kg, you carry and you walk with that. And slowly, and you keep increasing the weight. But before a week or so, 4 days 5 days before the track, you stop all the preparation, you let your body recuperate and get ready for the track. Second thing is, because high altitude, beyond 10,000, you have very real challenge of altitude mountain sickness, AMS, or so you need to have good aerobic capacity. So breathing exercise comes very handy for that. Uh, despite having very active in breathing exercise, you still can get AMS, but you can reduce the chances. You can increase your aerobic capacity by having the breathing exercise. Breathing exercise, people who do regularly find it much more easier to cope up with it. Otherwise, it is a problem. Like
Would you say breathing exercise and pranayama are the same thing, or breathing exercise?
yeah, same. I mean, there are many kind of breathing exercises, but ultimately everything boils down to the same thing. It is increasing your aerobic capacity, increasing your blood VO2 capacity, and so SO2 remains always within limit. As you go up, SO2 will come down, but if your VO2 is okay, then you are processing it when you're walking. So at a mean sea level, my SO2 is remain about 94, 95, 96, which is less than average, but my aerobic capacity is good. So high altitude, I have even better SO2 than most of even Sherpas.
Please
Like,
help us understand SO2 again. Many of us are not familiar with this.
it is oxygen saturation in your blood. Oxygen, blood has hemoglobin, the red color, because of hemoglobin. The function is to absorb oxygen and take it to your uh, uh, through your lungs, take it throughout your body, your mind, and oxygenize the cell within your body. Without oxygen, if you don't feed them oxygen, they can't work, right? So if you don't have saturated oxygen sufficient level, then you get AMS, the high altitude mountain sickness, and that may result in death. So EBC, Everest Base Camp, has the highest fatality among all the other tracks in this regard, because that is going up to 19,000 feet, Gokul Lake and EBC. But ABC is much lesser because it's going over 14,000. But still, you have to be 10,000. After beyond 10,000, you have to acclimatize. You don't climb more than 500 feet altitude, 500-meter altitude per day. So about 1,500 feet altitude you should not gain. Then you take rest and 12 hours, and then you go further. So all those things, all preparations, these are the preparations basically.
Yeah. So one
And
more
of
thing.
course,
Yeah.
I mean, for a person like me who has compromised joints, I had to work on my leg muscles to uh, take the extra burden, because my joints will not be able to help me negotiating this kind of terrain, steps and all. So I had to work on my with my physiotherapist, my calf muscles, quads, and all those muscles. Mm.
So now, one thing is related to, while you are interested in tracking, many of us are interested in eating only. And then we wonder, when you go there, what kind of food that you can eat, what is available, how much you have to carry. So something on those lines.
Yeah, so there is a in Nepal, especially, all tracks, you all tree houses and all tracks, all 4 5 major tracks, you get what they call is dal bhat power 24 hour. So it is basically rice and dal and one vegetable. You get for a vegetarian meal. Nowadays, because a lot of foreign tourists from Europe and from America, from Far East coming, so for them they are keeping stuff like uh, even pizza kind of thing. But then I, because I'm gluten sensitive, I can't eat them. So I had to, and I'm a vegetarian, so I had to rely only on dal bhat power 24 hour.
So now about the companions, because many times, whichever the journey is, there are two sides. One, who is traveling with you or who is tracking with you may also have some influence on the kind of experience it becomes. And let me just go away to the other track. Many times people come back from some trip, even if they have gone with friends, etc. And what they talk about is how this person behaved, that person behaved. And I think you keep yourself away from that sort of noise which we carry from the ground to mountains.
So there are two aspects to it. One is you have to have a group which is very cohesive group, so it will be very close to your age. Like in our group this time, we were four, aging, the youngest was 56 and the oldest was 66, so about 10 years all the people. And everybody should have passion for, of course, trekking. Otherwise it costs a lot of money, takes time, it is uh, has some inherent risk. So all these things only somebody is willing to do if somebody is interested in connecting with the nature, and there is something, some reward it's he or she is getting from the nature, either uh, connection with the nature, or challenging nature, overcoming the obstacles coming on the track and all. So all those things are inherently, basically should be there in a person. If you are not you don't have a group like that, then you have a problem. If somebody gives up on the way, then group dynamics change. If it's a small group, and sometimes like in Everest base camp, somebody fallen sick. He She had a altitude sickness. She had to evacuated by helicopter, and now it affects everybody. The fear factor comes in, and you have lost your fellow tracker almost, right? The SO2 level came down to 35, 38, kind of. So all those things make it imperative for you to look for partners who are uh, in the mindset, as well as in the interest and the physical condition uh, appropriate.
Yeah. So say something about your companions, and you may
I
solve.
I have my wife is mostly Anita. She accompanies me nowadays, because she's got a lot of free time, and her sister, she is a very avid tracker, and one of my friend, uh, who is the baby of the group, who is 56 years old. he uh, he also loves trekking and connecting with the nature, and traveling as well. So this is our core group. Sometimes three of us, sometimes two of us, sometimes alone. So all
So it
this
was
keep happening.
it wasn't a large group. It was only four people, like the
Yeah,
tracking that
four
you
people.
had.
Yeah, that is it was done with the purpose, because being in that age, and with this our progress is slower than most of the young people who are 20, 25, 26, 20, 30, 35. So if we are with them, then we'll be either dragging them, or they will be. So group
Makes sense.
dynamics don't work. So that's why we arrange for the private tracking group, tracking operator also. And our tracking operator was one of the most well-known person in the field of mountaineering. This man is holding a world record for doing Everest and Lhotse peak in 6 hours 1 minute, world record.
Wow, wow, wow.
Megamba Dorji Sherpa, and he's such a great man, such a great man. Uh, he has done out of 14 8,000. He has done 11 multiple time. Everest multiple time, K2 multiple, all multiple times.
Yeah. So now we will go to that part which is of my interest very much. But even before that, I spotted this space on one of the photograph, which probably is the tea. What
Tea
you
house. This is
probably
a tea
said.
house. Yeah.
Yeah. So how was this tea house? And sometimes good sleep is very important for starting your day with energy, so that you have a good tracking. So you had enough facility, and it was
No,
cozy.
no, no, no. I mean, as you go higher, I mean, when you start the track, any track in Nepal, lower altitude, you get good tea houses and comfortable. But as you keep going up, it starts, thinning out. Very, very few, and then like this was in one of the penultimate day, and there are more than about 14 to 18 nationalities, more than 140 people were staying for a night here with us, and all four of us were in one room. There were many people who were sleeping in the dining hall even, and there were shared toilets. So very basic amenities, but
Got it.
everybody is passionate, and everybody is. So people are from right from America to Taiwan to Hong Kong to Bangladesh and Spain, Italy, Rome, everywhere. People are
They are
there,
prepared, mentally
and
prepared.
that is one of the fun part of the track, because you get to meet so many people from all over the world, with shared common interest, and they tell you the story, you tell them the story, because in the evening you are sitting together. And as far as sleep is concerned, sleeping is always a problem, because as you go high in the altitude, your sleeping gets disturbed. And then since we are not used to stay in this kind of places, you find slightly awkward. But then one can always carry on with this kind of stuff for a week, 10 days. Yes.
So, Rajesh, along with food and sleep nowadays, for many of us, internet internet connectivity has also become like an important ingredient. So, I don't think you had good mobile
Yeah,
connection.
so all these tea houses have a charging point, because they have solar power. So they charge you for the charging the phone and all, and they give you Wi-Fi also with some charge. Uh, some places you don't have nothing, but most of places you get like this. But the whole point of going to a track is to cut out from the world, basically. So I don't, I mean, like to get connected to internet and all. All other information is available on my phone, which I preload before the track. And photo, I have my camera, I have my phone, I just keep taking photographs.
Yeah.
And it is a sort of a meditation, so I would not like to be associated with the internet, and most of the people, though they are providing this service, but not taken by most of people.
So now, taking the liberty, because I know Anita ji also, and you said the whole idea is to cut away from the world. But when you are walking with your wife and you're saying cut away from the world, so no. But sincerely speaking, you had a lot of conversations happening as you were going on. Many times, some people have the habit of expressing their feelings more. Some people express less, but oh, how beautiful it is, etc. Or what was the overall type of conversations which were generally happening? And
So this was my 34th track. I have done 34 tracks, and in all tracks, whether I've done with my this small group or with my wife or some other people, I always track alone. Either I walk in the front track, I just keep half a kilometer distance, or I track at the back. I don't track with the group. I don't talk. I am in my own space. That's why I consider this as a meditation, because when you walk and when you're tired, and somebody in your group says, "Oh, abhi kitna dur hai, abhi thak gaye," I mean, it just disturbs you. You are connected with nature. You are a part of nature. You forget your tiredness. You are not tired at all. You are totally engrossed and in the environment, nature, birds, mountains, forest, uh, wildlife, whatnot. And then you are meeting a lot of other trackers who just coming towards you or going passing. So you just keep within your own world, and you that's why I call it meditation.
yeah, so you
Otherwise, it
you
is
so,
physically.
yeah, I'm
Sorry.
kind of tempted to interrupt you and sort of connect with our viewers that you are a person from a different loca for us now, even from a distance. While I got the opportunity of talking to you from New York, and you did your vipassana, so that was a different kind of experience. And you have been to other tracks also. We talked about that. But now let us combine your experience of vipassana, where you are confined to a small space, as well as you don't have this kind of beautiful vastness of nature and bounty of nature available to feast your eyes and relate to your soul. And so how different do you think is that kind of meditation where your eyes are closed, and this meditation which as we are referring to tracking as meditation?
So one is vipassana kind of thing is exploration of, yeah, like within. I mean, you are looking inside yourself, right? And there are many things you just trying to understand. Many things you try to do n- to unlearn a lot of things, right? And it's always a challenge because your internal world is much more chaotic than the external world. So it is always a challenge. So that is a different experience. This experience is when you connect with the external world with the same whatever you have picked up in vipassana or meditation or looking within, and that kind of experience, you now try to connect with the world. And this kind of environment, this kind of being among the mountains and among the forest and the wildlife, and uh, it helps you in getting yourself connected with the nature, prakriti. So it is as important or as I would say significant as vipassana. And both forms, one is internal, one is external, but both are jad or chetana ka uh, संबंध है basically.
तो आपको कैसा अनुभव, या were you making some notes on your diary every day, or when you are back, is there some sort of a precipitation of impressions that you feel like putting in words, etc.?
Yeah, many people do that, but I personally, when I'm in my home, I read quite a lot. Whole day I keep reading, and there's not a single day I don't read. But I make it a point when I'm tracking or traveling, I don't read at all. I just try to get immersed in the experience, and I don't write. I just take pictures, and I just those pictures are basically documentary, your documentation of your trip and everything, right? So you remember what happened, where did you go, and all those things happened. And nowadays, you when you take picture from the phone, even the location comes. uh, when you are taking a picture with phone and the camera, both get synced with each other. So I don't do otherwise, no writing, no reading, uh, because if I try to do that, then uh, whatever I'm there to experience will get diluted. So it is pure, pure, pure immersion.
So now, of course, because we are trying to do the impossible. When I say impossible, meaning what is your communication in silence happening with the nature around you, uh, when we try to see what it was putting um, in our hands in the form of words, etc., may not be completely possible. Yet, because we are using the word meditation, and when we say tracking as meditation, so do you feel some revelation within conscious or unconscious, whereby uh, you get a new perspective about yourself, or something which makes you say that tracking is a meditation, maybe a sense of oneness, or whichever way, if you care to describe.
It is basically to tell you, like, when I'm, because of my problem, I don't even climb one flight of stairs, right? I don't go up, go. And when I track, I'm tracking right in the morning, 7:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7, sometimes early 3 o'clock even, and track whole day. And I'm tracking whole day all alone. I have nobody with me. As I told you. So what you would do, I mean, this kind of, when you are in physical pain for some time, and when you're tracking all alone, how you can do it without forgetting yourself? You can't keep your physical discomfort and being in mind, top of mind, and do that. You can't do that. You have to forget, and you automatically forget that. You just get immersed in the experience so much, and that's what is meditation all about. You, there is no self. There is not no self. There is no sense of any accomplishment. It is just walking, just keeping one of step in front of another, and you don't feel tired. I mean, today I look back and say, how did I do that so many? But whenever I go for a track, I don't get into this kind of discomfort, and I have a really, I mean, physical. There are problems with me, so that is not possible because without a meditative component element into this, and that's what it is. That's why I call it meditation. You're spending with yourself. You're not talking whole day. It is like vipassana only. You're not talking whole day. All you are yourself with there. You are observing each and everything you are seeing. It's bird call, bird song, trees, flowers, forest, mountains, difficulty. Every step you have to keep very, very, be very, very careful that you should not stumble or should not hurt yourself. All these things keep you in the moment, in the present, in that moment throughout the day. And that is meditation.
Agreed. And even while we are looking at these visuals, one gets drawn to it in a way whereby you don't feel like speaking anything, even aha, also not. There is a awe, wonder, uh,
Yes.
and a sort of silent dialogue happening with the beauty around you. Must be very difficult to not take pictures, because every frame is as
Yeah.
beautiful as it gets. So
Right. So, photography, I think, is must because it makes you very keen observer of things. When you're tracking, so you're looking at the whole thing, not from the perspective of only, I mean, where do I walk? You are also looking at the beauty around you, and you just try to see how visually this experience or this documentation would be. So your visual experience gets more enhanced. Your audio is zero, your physical is completely in sync with your walking, and your visual is enhanced. And that's where you feel insignificance of you yourself with in the large scheme of things, where the nature is so virat, so beautiful, so big, and you find yourself among such amidst such kind of beauty, and you realize that you have no significance in front of this beauty.
So now I'll pull you to the normal perspective that we have started making ourselves conditioned to think that if I don't have this, then I'm bored. And many people, even while they'll see these images and they'll say, okay, for some time it's fine, but it was a 11-day track for you, and whole day it is similar kind of setting. So no, was there any moment when you felt that let's go back? No.
No, it is not like that. It doesn't happen. I mean, it depends on person to person. There are moment in the group. What happens is that somebody gets tired, and somebody is just losing the stamina to go further, and somebody says, "Okay, I don't want to go further." So, as a group, when you come to know, and that person says, "Okay, no, this is enough for me. I'm not going further." You just try to encourage, okay, let's do one more camp, let's see how it goes after that. That kind of support, you keep hand holding each other, and that's all is required. Otherwise, I mean, you just can't. I mean, I can't get bored. It's a highly personal thing. It depends on people. Some people will say, "Patthron mein kya rakha hai? Why should I bloody go and climb a mountain? What's the whole purpose?" Right? But connecting with nature rejuvenates me, and I'm very sure that it rejuvenates most of people. Going to forest, seeing the greenery, seeing the mountains, seeing the play of nature, the amphitheater of nature all around you, is such a rejuvenating experience that you just can't get bored.
In fact, probably it's difficult to think of going back once you are physically fine in
Absolutely.
your elements. And you also mentioned about the challenge that was
Yeah,
posed by these stairs.
yeah.
They are well made, like there was no
No, no, no.
slippery.
This is the one of the good section. There are more than 7,000 steps, 7,000 plus steps. Uh, why the steps? Because these mountains are very uh, vulnerable for landslide and avalanche. So they don't want to cut the trails, rather than they make a steps. It is not that throughout the steps, I mean, out of 6 days one way, if you consider, then you would get steps for 3 days. 3 days you will get natural trail, but steps are uneven. Some places that you have good steps, or sometimes. So that's the problem. That's why you need to have a pole, one or two poles, as you feel comfortable to track with. That is important, very very important. And this other thing which is very important is, I mentioned about the AMS already, and the people need to take that. I mean, some the Diamox medicine hota hai. I mean, one has to take that if you are vulnerable for that. And third thing is the sunglasses, because there's a reflection of the snow so much that you go blind. So this is one thing which one has to keep in mind, that when you are, if it is forest is okay, but once you are on the snow, then it is very very important for you to have glare. So
Sunglasses. Mm. And there's another thing is how many hours were you trekking every day, and how was the scene at the night time? And was there any moment which sort of scared any one of you because of XYZ reason?
so we used to trek for 6 to 7 hours. There was one day we trekked about more than 8.5 hours, but mostly 6 hours. In evening, you get together, because when you're trekking, you are trek on your own, or you being alone. But evening, you get together not only with your own group, with other people also, because there are so many people to meet, and that's what the fun part is. You talk to them over a cup of tea or coffee, or uh, food meal, and share stories. That's the fun part. That's a really fun part. You get to meet so many strangers, and everybody is so friendly, and from all over the world. So yes, in this track also, I mean, one of the participant was feeling a little bit tired, or
Sick.
after, yeah. So, but we encouraged, and have everything turned out all right. It's the only momentary thing, once you start having the negative thing, you look, I can't do it, I can't do it, then you just can't do it. Tracking is more to do with between the years than with your legs and your strength. I mean, those things are important, but what is most important is your mind. Between the 2 years, what you think is what. If you start having negative or defeatist thoughts, then it will be very difficult for you to continue. So that's where the groups come in. Everybody will feel tired, one or it will happen with every person, will happen. And that's how the group holds each other's hand and encourages people to. That's
So
why people, good people, should be there in the group.
yeah, probably most of the time by night you guys must be very tired. Still, describe your impressions of the night. This is so clean and so beautiful, and
Yeah. And
as
this is
being in Delhi, you can never imagine to have this kind
uh,
of open and pristine sky. So, say something about that.
it is beautiful because the light pollution is next to nothing. There's no light, right? All these tea houses, they have the solar lights and everything goes off in the night. So night is absolutely fabulous. If it is a moonlit night, it has its own charm because the snow peaks in the moonlit nights have different looks. And as if it is dark night, then all star, the sky comes alive.
Beautiful.
You get to see Milky Way and you get to see Andromeda. Even Andromeda you can see. It's so nice. And uh, that is one of in the cities we don't get to see such a sky because we have so much of light pollution going up in the mountains. That
Hmm.
is one thing which is positive.
So seeing so many people in the city, when you come to this sort of place, it it seems like this is unbelievable kind of experience, and you are drawn to it as anybody would be. Now moving to the other side, where you mention about meeting people from different countries and sharing experiences. Was there any unusual thing or some anecdote that you heard from any of your fellow tracker that has stayed with you?
I mean, not unusual because sometimes you see somebody's heavily heavy tattooed, and I had a very temporary tattoo. He asked me, I asked him. We bonded over the tattoo, and then we started talking.
What tattoo you
There was
have? I
a
haven't seen your tattoo.
that was temporary tattoo.
Okay.
Uh, and then we met three young persons who met the first time, two girls and one boy, and they were living like one was from Taiwan, the other girl was from Hong Kong, and the third person was from Malaysia. And now all the three, Taiwan doesn't get along with the China. This person who lives in Malaysia is Chinese. Hong Kong has a problem with China. China has a problem with Taiwan. And this unusual friendship happened only in the Kathmandu, and they bonded so well. They bonded so well, and they were telling the stories how they could overcome because some people used to speak. I mean, some of them were speaking Cantonese, someone was speaking Mandarin. So how they overcome the barrier so this kind of bonding happens. And of course, I mean, people keep telling you, uh, keep advising you, look, when you're going up, there are some people who's coming down. So you and the tea house together, the person who's coming down and person who's going up. So person who's coming down will always tell you that this is what the problem he has faced in particular section. So keep eye open for that. And the weather is going to turn nasty, so you should have crampons out or garter out. So these kind of advices keep happening. Then some people tell about their old other tracks stories. Some people like to understand from you what happened your tracks, which tracks you would recommend. So these kind of stories happen.
So all that we were talking so far with Rajesh Sharma ji, tracking his meditation, was from his experience of recent track to Annapurna base. But you, many, I mean, I would think that someone who has been to this grueling 11-day track would come back and would say, let me tell this story to as many people as I can and just sit on my laurel of this visit, but not you. You are preparing for another trek or another trip. So, what is it that keeps your appetite for more and more travel and tracking, etc.?
I mean, first and foremost is curiosity. I mean, if you're curious, then you are gatherer of experience. Second is always is your love for nature. As we live in the cities, we are absolutely disconnected from the nature. So I have the burning desire to get back to the nature. So that takes me back to the mountains. And third thing is, it came out of necessity. I had the osteoarthritis and impingement of hip was diagnosed, and my gluten consolidation was diagnosed. So doctor told me, if you don't walk, then you will keep getting worse. So I said, if I have to walk every day, then why not do the trekking?
So how
So all
many?
these things.
What is your everyday walk schedule like?
I walk for about among 7 to 8 kilometers,
How much?
sometimes
How
six
much time it
also.
takes? How much time it takes?
6 kilometer takes about 1 hour 15 minutes.
That's it.
Don't walk very fast.
Hmm.
And sometimes uh, some places, if I go up in the incline, there are places close by Naravalis, then it takes more, because when you do hiking or trekking, then you are not only walking, then you are just absorbing things. Otherwise, on flat, it takes about 1 hour 15 minutes to do 6 kilometers for me.
So now, tell us something about the next trip that you have planned. Kurg.
Yeah, Kurk, we are going, and unfortunately, what happened, like in during this trek, I hurt my toenail and other toes. So we have planned some hiking in Kurk, in and around Madikeri and Virajpet. Let's see how my toes respond. I'm on taking
Hmm.
antibiotics and all,
I see.
just to get in shape.
Sorry to
Let's
hear that.
see.
Mhm. So, as we conclude, for those who may have lukewarm interest in exploring nature, going for the trekking, your advice and any thumbnail in terms of the what should I say, instruction.
I mean, you know yourself whether you are cut out for trekking or not. If you don't love nature, you will not be able to trek. Second thing is, if you love nature and you want to go track, and even if you are not in good physical condition, don't worry, it will all happen. But you should start small. You should start with small hikes, a day hike. Like you live in US. The US is a beautifully naturally endowed country, and there are so many hikes available there. Every city around. In India also, I mean North India, South India, West India. There are a lot of places where one can go for hiking. So start small, keep building your interest, and once you know that you can do it, then do multi-day track. Just see how you cope up with, and then it will draw yourself into it. It will catch you so tightly that you will not let it go. It will not let you go, rather.
It was surreal seeing all these images and seeing you in that setting. When I say surreal, normally we don't imagine, especially as you mentioned, we have had this maybe once people used to retire at 58, and at 65, it was like the end of the story type feeling the person would have in his mind. So, one things are changing, as well as you are exceptionally working to overcome the challenges that put a kind of obstacle for you. So that is also inspiring. And I want to thank you for having us experience this first-hand photographs. And I'm sure there must be much more, and probably we will have more
Yeah,
opportunities of sharing the beauty
yeah,
of
yeah.
the world. And this I think this site itself is like you can be
Aja,
there for hours.
fun fact for you. Just go to the back image.
Just
The image. This mountain is basically, it's called Annapurna South, but his other name is
oh,
Moditse. And from here, there is a river which flows. which flows, and during the, I mean, this track, when you do this track, this river is, you will keep coming and crossing this river many times, and that river is called Modi River.
Why just like that?
Just like nowadays name, because Moditse, the river is Modi River, and there is one suspension bridge. I have shared picture of that bridge. That is 287 meter. That is more than quarter a kilometer long suspension bridge. That bridge, crossing that bridge itself is quite an experience.
Wow. Was it scary crossing that bridge?
No, 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 not scary at all. It was
Okay.
wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, I think I don't see that image. Maybe you shared
Yeah,
or
yeah, I think
yeah.
the first or second image you showed that.
Oh, okay, okay. These are all every image is like you keep.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
this
one, this
one,
one.
this one, this one.
Yeah, this one is 287 meter,
Wow, wow.
and these are our group member only. I was behind, so I took this picture from the back.
Very good. Big brother is watching. Back. So, so thank you very much, Rajesh.
All right.
Lots of good
Thank you
wishes
so
for
much.
your trips.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ji. Thank you.